Hello everyone. Once again welcome to my YouTube channel. Today we will discuss about the law number 9 of the international bestseller book of Robert Greene, The 48 Laws of Power. So the law number 9 is win through your actions, never through arguments. Any momentary triumph you think you have gained through argument is really a Pyrrhic victory. The resentment and it will you stir up your up are stronger and last longer than any momentary change of opinion. It is much more powerful to get other to agree with you through your actions without saying a word. Demonstrate, do not explicate. In the realm of power, you must learn to judge your moves by their long-term effect on other people. The problem in trying to prove a point or gain a victory through arguments is that in the end you can never be certain how it affects the people you are arguing with. They may appear to agree with you politely, but inside they may resent you, or perhaps something you said inadvertently. Even often them words have that insidious ability to be interpreted according to the other person's mood and insecurities. Even the best argument has no solid foundation, for we have all come to disrupt the slippery nature of words. And days after agreeing with someone, we often revert to our old opinion out of sheer habit. Understand this words are a dime a dozen. Everyone knows that in the heat of an argument, we will all say anything to support our cause. We will quote the Bible, refer to unverifiable statistic. Who can be persuaded by bags of air like that? Action and demonstration are much more powerful and meaningful. They are there before our eyes for us to see. There are no offensive words, no possibility of misinterpretation. No one can argue with a demonstrated proof as as Baltasar Gracian remarks, the truth is generally seen, rarely heard. Sir Sir Christopher Wren was England's version of Renaissance man. He had astronomy, physics, and physiology, yet during his extremely long career as England's most celebrated architect, he was often told by his patrons to make impractical changes in his designs. Never once did he argue or often he had other way to proving his point. In 1688, Wren designed a magnificent town hall for the city of Westminster. The mayor, however, was not satisfied. In fact, he was nervous. He told Wren he was afraid the second floor was not secure and that it could all come crashing down on his office on the first floor. He demanded that Wren add two stone columns for extra support. Wren, the consummate engineer, knew that these columns would serve no purpose and that mere fears were baseless. But build them he had, and the mayor was grateful. It was only a year later that workmen on a high scaffold saw that the columns stopped just short of ceiling. They are dummies, but both men got what they wanted. The mayor could relax, and Rain knew post- posterity would understand that his original design worked and the columns were unnecessary. The power of demonstrating your idea is that your opponents do not get defensive and are therefore more open persuasion. Making them literally and physically feel your meaning is infinitely more powerful than argument. When aiming for power or trying to conserve it, always look for the indirect route, and also choose your battles carefully. If it does not matter in the long run whether the other person agrees with you, or if time and their own experience will make them understand what you mean, then it is best not even to bother with a demonstration. Save your energy and walk away. Law number 10, infection. Avoid the unhappy and unlucky. You can die from someone else's misery. Emotional states are as infectious as diseases. You may feel you are helping the drowning man, but you are only precipitating your own disaster. The unfortunate sometimes draw misfortune on themselves, they will also draw it on you. Associate with the happy and fortunate instead. Those misfortunate among us who have been brought down by circumstances beyond their control deserve all the help and sympathy we can give them. But there are others who are not born to misfortune or unhappiness, but who draw it upon themselves by their destructive action and unsettling effect on others. It would be a great thing if we could raise them up, change their patterns, but more often that than not, it is their patterns that end up getting inside and changing us. The reason is simple: humans are extremely susceptible to the moods, emotions, and even the ways of thinking of those with whom they spend their time. Understand this. In the game of power, the people you associate with are critical. The risk of associating with infectors is that you will waste valuable time and energy trying to free yourself through a kind guilt. By association, you will also suffer in the eyes of others. Never underestimate the dangers of infection. There is only one solution for to infection: quant- quarantining. The danger is that these infecting type often present themselves as victims, making it difficult at first to see their miseries as self inflicted. By the time you recognize the problem, it is often too late. How can you protect yourself against such insidious viruses? The answer lies in judging people on the effect they have on the world and not on the reasons they give for their problems. Infectors can be recognized by the misfortune they draw on themselves, their turbulent past, their long line of broken relationships, their unstable careers, and the very force of their character, which sweeps you up and makes you lose your reason. Be forewarned by these signs of an infector. Learn to see the discontent in their eye. Most important of all, do not take pity. Do not enmesh yourself in trying to help. Flee the infected presence or suffer the consequences. The other side of infection is equally valid and perhaps more readily understood. There are people who attract happiness to themselves by their good cheer, natural buoyancy, and intelligence. They are a source of pleasure, and you must associate with them to share in prosperity they drawn upon themselves. This applies to more than a good cheer, a virus unseen it, and success. All your positive qualities can in fact enter your pores without a tailoring head. Many strange and warning spreading silently, intimidating traits, but most agreed that he and slowly before you are surpassed all Frenchmen in graciousness, aware of the infection, its aristocratic charm and wit. Indeed, he came is deep inside you, from one of the oldest noble families in the country, and despite his belief in democracy and French Republic, he retained his country manners. His contemporary Napoleon was in many ways to opposite a peasant from Corsica, taciturn and ungracious, even violent. There was no one Napoleon admired more than Talleyrand, and as best he could, he kept Talleyrand around him, hoping to shock up the culture he lacked. There is no doubt that Napoleon changed as his rule continued. Many of rough edges were smoothed by a constant association with Talleyrand. Use the positive side of emotional osmosis to advantage. If, for example, you are miserly by nature, associate with the generous and they will infect you, opening up everything that is tight and restricted in you. If you are gloomy, gravitate to the cheerful. If you are prone to isolation, force yourself to be friend and gregarious. Never associate with those who share your defects. They will reinforce everything that hold you back. Only create association with positive affinities. Make this a rule of life and you will benefit more than from all the therapy in the world.